In case you hadn't heard, because Dan Orlovsky had to be told by Mina Kimes yesterday that this was happening, a solar eclipse today, and we have a few NFL cities in the path of totality, able to see the total solar eclipse on all of these places. You can see several NFL teams and the New York Giants. You know, this was a picture of what happened in the New York area, what folks were seeing. Very cool. And then, oh my goodness, look who was eclipsing the very sun itself. It was Sexy Dexy. It was Dexter Lawrence. I gotta say, that's great. Look at Dan. Dan didn't even see it because you can't actually see.
I have a question.
Yes.
First of all, the Giants, tremendous tweet. Is that actually what happens during this solar eclipse thing? Is it just literally goes over it?
Dan, where have you been? How do you have children who go to school and you don't know about this? The moon.
I don't know what happened. Like, what's so intriguing about it though? Like, cool.
The moon completely blocks out the sun, and it happens once every 20. I don't know. Mina, you take it from here. You deal with him. What? Mina?
I feel like it's self-explanatory that billions of people around the world, or at least in our country, actually, are watching this right now, Dan.
Yeah, so what happens is there's the sun, and then the moon goes in front of the sun and blocks it. There you go, Gross.
I think the tweet is better. I think the tweet by the Giants is better.
We're talking about, of course it is. Gross, help us out. I can't to really take you seriously with those glasses on, but how do the Cowboys, who are along that path of totality, how do they move out of the darkness of their postseason last year?
Need to put their offensive line back together. They've lost multiple starters this offseason, including their center and their left tackle, long-timer Tyron Smith. They have Tyler Smith, who's a first-round pick from a couple years ago. They can play him at guard if they get a left tackle in the draft. They can move him to tackle if they focus on the interior of the offensive line in the draft. But Cowboys are doing a lot of work on the offensive linemen in this class, and I would expect them to address that early in this year's draft.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Anthony Richardson's second year in the NFL. I know we're all crowning Houston, and rightfully so. Their roster's loaded. I'm just so excited to see what this year, I guess, off did for his development. I think three things that really matter for him. Number one, they got to get some speed outside of Michael Pittman Jr. at wide receiver. I think number two, how mechanically he's gotten better at marrying his lower half to his upper half. That was the big thing coming out of school. And then three, you got to watch Gardner Minshew operate this offense. Learn from that and pay attention to how Shane Steichen wants it ran.
Yeah, Dan, let's look at the Cleveland Browns, and they've got to fix this defensive line. That is a huge area for them. No first-round pick. First pick will be at 54 overall in the second round. They've got to get a D tackle. Braden Fisk from Florida State certainly makes sense to somebody that can come in and be a penetrator next to Myles Garrett. I love Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State as well. If they go a little bit later, maybe mid-third round to find that D tackle that really shores up this offensive line or defensive line.
The Bills' need is pretty obvious. There's a Stephon Diggs-sized hole on this roster, and the wide receiver group is lacking. Now, I think what type of receiver, however, they add in the draft and where is open to discussion. Something that I think has been a little bit left out when people talk about this receiver group is how well Khalil Shakir, the young wide receiver, played last year. In fact, in the second half of the season, third league-wide in yards per catch. So he gives them a deep threat. And in truth, he more replaces Gabe Davis's production, not Stephon Diggs. So the receiver you need to add, in my opinion, would be someone who's more similar to Diggs, a route runner, someone who can work underneath, someone who can get you yards after the catch.
This